And today we're going to be part of a two-step process of pulling honey out of a beehive. And the reason I call it a two-step process is because we have to get the bees out of the honey supers, and then tomorrow we'll come back and take the honey off and extract it. But before we get started, I'd like to explain some of the protective equipment that beekeepers wear. With me here today is my friend and neighbor Kevin, and he wants to observe. Say hi, Kevin.
Hello.
And what we got here is for Kevin, since he just wants to watch and see how it is a couple of common protective items for beekeepers. First one's a helmet. See, just a regular pit helmet. The other one's a veil. And what you do is you put the helmet inside the veil like this, so it gets on there, sticks up, you see, so it gets all sealed in. Okay, and then you put this on over your head. There you go. And you get that on real good, and there's kind of a thing you got to do here with a string, because you don't want them flying in there, so you know, like that. You're not choking or nothing.
Nope, doing fine.
Okay, so then these go around behind you. Take that one. I'll take this one. We go around behind you like that. Here, take this one. And I'll take that one. And then somehow you just tie them up, and that way you're sealed in. Oh, yeah, just tie it up there and roll off. And then we make sure that there's no openings there, and we should be good to go. Looks good. Now, for other things, if you were interested in getting your hands on it, we got this nice set of gloves. And for more practical things in a backyard situation, because you saw how long it took to put that stuff on, is I got this nice little pullover here that all you got to do is put it on like this, and you're ready to go. Well, before we get started with all of this, I want to talk about some of the other things we're going to do. Come on in this way. It's alright, they're not flying today, so you can kind of stand in front of it. This here is a smoker. And the reason you have a smoker is because the bees, when they see the smoke or they smell the smoke, they think there's a fire and it's endangering their hive. So what they do is they get a lot more docile and easier to work with, so they don't go and attack the beekeeper. So, anything that's dry that'll work. You just throw in some, old sticks, some crushed leaves. The key here is that it's dry. If it's not dry, the smoker will go out right at the wrong time when you need it the most, because the smoker is one of your friends. You just got to make sure that the thing stays on and that the bees leave you alone. But these bees are pretty good, and this stuff here is just more for show on most days. So, come on in this way, and we'll get this smoker lit. Okay. Where is it? Come on in here. All the way in here. Okay, this here is a hive, and here's the entrance to the hive here. And it must be about 60 degrees out today, so you're not really seeing a lot of activity. You'll see one or two fly in, and then they go in, but that's it. So these two parts of these things are called supers, and they're basically wooden boxes, and inside the boxes there's frames. And on the frames is where they have the comb, and that's where they live, is inside in the comb. And so these two boxes on part of the beehive is what's called the brood nest. You leave this here. That's where the queen and the workers and the larvae go, and that's where they're going to spend the winter. And up here, during the summer, they drew out comb in these boxes, and they made honey. And so our job today is to see what kind of honey we got in here and get it ready to pull it off. Now earlier, I was talking about the escape board. Okay, this here is an escape board. This is what I was talking about. This is one way to get the bees out of the honey boxes. And these boxes are called super in beekeeper beekeeper language, supers. It's I'm not exactly sure right off the top of my head why they call them supers, but they're boxes which hold the beehives. Now this here is called an escape board, and it's an interesting device. It sits on the hive like this, in between these boxes here. And so what you'll do is we'll take these boxes off, we'll put this on, and we'll put these boxes back on. The bees will go out this way and down, and then because of their sense of navigation, they'll leave here and they'll go to the rest of the hive, and they won't be able to get back in. And it has to do with the way that they navigate. It's like they only turn one direction when they walk. It's like they only turn right. And so they come out, they come this way, and they can't come back in. It's something that bees do. So, without any further ado, we'll set this aside, and we'll get out the tools to light the smoker. So, here's a smoker. All we got to do is put some flame in this thing and get it lit. Nice torch, Kevin, thanks. And you pump a little air in there. That bark seems to be a better deal. Once you got this thing good and lit, you're good to go. No, it's a flamethrower. Yeah, there we go. See that? Alright, so, Kevin, you wouldn't mind just squeezing that once in a while, unless it's going to stay lit for me. So, now that we have smoker lit, it's time to open the hive. Here I can explain a few more pieces of equipment that we use. Really isn't a whole lot here, but things you need to know. Like I said, this is the hive body. These are called supers, and then these are honey supers up here. This here is called a top cover, and you can just kind of pop it off. We also have a couple of tools that we use here. This one's called a hive tool. It's got a little curved end so you can lift up frames inside the boxes, and this little thing that you can open the boxes with, because the bees will glue the boxes together to seal out light and air, and they use propolis to do that, and it's that color because of that. So, without any further ado, here's the top cover. Let me see that smoker there, Kevin. And when you come on in here, and you can kind of see that they're crawling out the top. They're wondering what the heck's going on. So we smoke them, and then they realize that things may not be all so good up here, and they kind of stop getting so aggressive. So there, we asphyxiate them there. Set that down. This here is called an inner cover, and this is what you put on top of the hive. As you can see, they sealed it shut. It's good and closed. So what I'm just doing now is using the hive tool to gently get the top of it off here. Like so. So we smoke some more. That's good and lit now. And we just take this off and set it aside. And here is our beehive.